Thanks, Jake. That's more like the Liverpool we expect. Pressing from the start, you must be happy with that.
Yeah, massively. I think the performance was great from the lads. I think on Saturday it was disappointing. We never really got going. Our press wasn't there. We were slow out the blocks, but it's complete opposite today. Started well and continued it throughout the game. They had their spells in the second half and stuff, but I think overall we played outstanding.
And a fantastic goal. That's many hours on the training ground, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't normally score them from that side. I usually score them from the other side of the pitch. So
give away your secrets.
No, it was for me. It was just about getting in on target. That's what I've been focusing on when I'm practicing now. Hit the target. You know, there's always a chance of it going in, rebound, stuff like that. It's the most dangerous. So, just make sure I'm hitting the target these days.
And you've been getting plenty of headlines, shall we say, and a lot of people questioning you. It's nice to see a big smile in your face for doing something brilliantly.
Oh, no matter what, I always try and think positively. People say things, but for me, it's about going out there and performing for the team. That's the only thing that matters, is coming out here, getting the wins, and helping the team win games. It's been a slow start to the season for me, but I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Was the new formation a factor tonight? Did that make things a little bit more comfortable?
Yeah, definitely. I think we went back to a bit more of a basic 4-4-2 and played it really well. We shifted across the pitch really well. We made it compact. They couldn't play through us. They were playing a lot of long balls and stuff like that, and we were picking up the second ball. So, it was the change of tactics definitely helped us today. So we'll see what happens going forward.
And Arsenal, and then back up to Glasgow. Nice and busy.
Yeah, the atmosphere is going to be very, very, very intense. But for us, it's what we used to. We used to play 3 games a week and stuff like that. So there's no excuses there. It's exciting. When it's coming thick and fast, it's exciting for us.
Thanks, Trent.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, well played, that man. He makes his way off the pitch. And look, we love to focus on the things that people can't do sometimes in this country, but when you focus on what he can do, that is a man that can do beautiful things with a football.
Yeah, listen, with the ball, he's a magician. He's the numbers he's putting up in recent seasons has never been seen from a fullback in this country, really. So, in that sense, he's the modern day fullback. Where he has been questioned is in defensive positions. And I think he would be honest enough to say that, that has been a part of that in his game. He's maybe lapses in concentration and things he can clean up on. But again, I'm one of those who likes to look at the good things in players and what they bring to the team. And I think this team has been built to get the best out of him in an attacking sense. And we saw a lot of that today in his passing. Maybe not as far forward as normal, but the area when he does go and vacate that area was very much protected today with Jordan Henderson. And I think that factor there plays into him being able to perform at his best when he's the best Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, I thought Jordan Henderson was absolute key today. I bet he was delighted when he saw him on the team sheet, when he saw the shape that they were playing. No question about it. In that first half, he filled in for him every single time he went forward. And to have that insurance behind you when you're going forward must be a great thing, because, of course, he has been caught out of position. Or has he? He gets in forward positions, and that means that there's a gap there. But when someone else is plugging it, he can do it and not even worry about what's behind him. Yeah. And I think that is key to him. If he's got Jordan Henderson in the team, I think we see a different player.
And I see you're still standing there, Ali, just running through what happened in that game. It was one of the frustrations, I think, is that as the game went on, they got wider, they got further forwards, they looked a bit more dynamic. Like, they didn't do themselves justice, Rangers, in that first half, anywhere near.
You're absolutely spot on. And it was interesting as the game developed. There's a couple of times, the second goal's a perfect example of it. Well, Kent get the ball in the wide left-hand side position, and I think for the first time in the game he got himself in a 1v1 situation with Alexander-Arnold, and I'm thinking to myself, go and take him on, get into the penalty box, commit him, anything can happen. He didn't do that. 2 minutes later, ball's up the other end of the park. Diaz does exactly that. He runs at Tavernier, and I think it's King gets the penalty, and that's a big difference. Listen, Trent Alexander was fantastic today going forward. But as I said at half-time, I thought it was a good game for him to play in, particularly the lack of Rangers attacking force, but also Jordan Henderson filled in for him, filled those gaps in for him superbly.
I think it's details. In these big games, it's the difference in details and taking the opportunities that arise, and you've got to then go for the jugular. What Ali's saying there is bang on. When you get a chance, they would have said and set up to get Ryan Kent in a position to get 1v1. And when that opportunity comes, you've got to take that with both hands. And he'll probably look back at the end of the game and go, do you know what? That was a chance for me to go and do it. And to be fair, the 2 wingers that came on later in the game, they wanted to get at people, and they showed a different kind of energy in the game that you thought, if they maybe had started like that, hindsight's a great thing, we all know, but if they'd maybe started like that, being a bit more adventurous on the front foot with those type of players, they may have given themselves a better opportunity and maybe wouldn't have allowed Liverpool to be so much on the front foot as they were.
So, job done this evening for Liverpool, and we're joined by a man who played his role perfectly there this evening. Jordan Henderson's with us. You'll be pleased to know that the three men to your right spent most of the evening singing your praises. I think actually Rio might have said that's the best I've seen him for a little while. Did it feel like a strong performance from you personally?
Yeah, I felt good out there, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I thought we played some really good stuff. Obviously, changed your formation a little bit. First half especially, I thought were really good. Intensity levels were there, and overall, I think we've got to be happy with the performance.
Jordan, was you put out there, and it tweaked a little bit, you said about the formation, but we spoke to you on Between the Lines earlier, or last season, and you spoke about that little right-hand side where Trent vacates at times and you shuffle over and become that insurance policy. Was that something you kind of honed in on today?
Yeah, I think you've got to give Trent the licence to get forward at times and produce what he can produce up the final third of the pitch, but I thought he was really good defensively as well tonight. You know, he'd done the basics really well. And overall, I thought it was a really good performance. So, yeah, I didn't have to cover too much.
No good.
Just give us an insight, because I think people that criticise footballers feel that footballers are immune to this kind of conversation. How much does it bleed into a footballer's psyche, or how much is it a conversation at the training ground? I think it's important for fans to know what that sort of conversation can do to a young player.
And also as a captain, how you deal with that as well.
I think it can be difficult. You know, you try to not listen to social media, especially when you're going through a little bit of a tough period as an individual or as a team. You got to switch off to social media and everything that is the noise around, and try and just focus on what you do day to day, and improve on your own performance, improve on the team's performance, and just really stay focused on what we're trying to achieve as a team. But it can be difficult. That's not easy, you know, with everything that goes in the outside world. It is difficult, and it can hurt players at times. But you've got to try and find a way to use that as fuel and as energy to, when you get on the pitch, to prove people wrong. And that's what I've learned the older I've got, really.
And what's the most effective way for you as a leader in the dressing room to look after some of the other players? What do you tend to do?
I think I've got to sense certain individuals at times. Some of them need an arm around the shoulder, and some of them might need a kick up the backside at times. But it's trying to find the balance. You know, when we're on the pitch, it's not personal. We're trying to shout and dictate and try to do things that's going to help the team. But off the field, you know, you can have conversations with players and try and help them as much as possible. And I feel that responsibility, of course, but we've also got other leaders and experienced players within the dressing room that help with that. And it's about staying together, staying as a team, especially when you're going through tough moments. And we've been through plenty of them as a team, and we've got to use our experience to get through this one.
Jordan, just going back to the game tonight, it felt in that first half that Liverpool looked back to somewhere near the best, especially out of possession, pressing and winning the ball back. How did that first half feel? Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah, it felt good. Intensity, everything felt really good. Energy, winning the ball back, high up and everything. Possession, you know, winning the tackles, making the line of the tackles and getting the ball. So overall, I think we've got to be really pleased, and it's a step in the right direction for sure.
I think that's a great point, Jordan. Looking at Liverpool, I thought they were brilliant in possession, but equally excellent not in possession. Was that something that you were going ahead? Rangers playing the five at the back, we felt they couldn't get out, and it was due to the press. Would you have gone about it the same way if Rangers had went with back four?
I think so. I think we're focusing on what we needed to do. We had an idea that they probably would play a five at the back. But yeah, I think whether they play a four, whether they play a five, you know, you've got to try and adapt a little bit to the situation within the game. But ultimately, we want to press with intensity when we do go. And I felt as we're picked and choose the right times today. You know, we weren't always pressing and pressing. We waited for the right moments, and we went and won the ball back, which is important in games.
OK, well, look, thank you very much for joining us. We've got to let you go. I think you've got other demands on your time. We'll be in touch. We could have spoken for ages, but listen, well played this evening, and congratulations.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
What you needed, and just what the team needed.
Well done, mate.